Today, I'm going to talk about storm imaging. So, please raise your hand if you heard about storm imaging. Okay, few people know about this. Storm imaging is simply like this. This is storm imaging. So, for example, if you stain cell by DAPI or fluorescence dye, they are very dim, and you cannot distinguish these nanodomains. So, when you capture H2B, is histone protein, and then you can capture this nanodomain dots a lot like that. So here, this paper published in Nature Biomaterial Engineering, they compare H2B nanodomains, periphery center area, as well as their density among young tendinocytes and aged tenocyte. So they compare these, they quantify their broader inner, I'm sorry, border inner. Inner is like inside of nucleus. Border is like you can determine like 1 micrometer from the nuclear edge that can call border. And then so here they found out that their histone protein organization is different among the groups. Young tendinocytes, they're more peripherally localized, while aged one, they are more fused in a center area. So not only this H3 protein, but also histone, another protein like H3K4 matrix 3, which is like chromatin marker, and then K27 matrix 3 is heterochromatic marker. Also, you can stain and storm imaging like this: glass, stiff, and soft. Definitely from soft and stiff, you can see certain different density of these histone markers. Soft more here, and stiff less. Soft and stiff, they have different density. So like that, but probably you can see some trend from DAPI or normal confocal imaging. Why we are looking at this stone imaging is that sometimes from the high resolution, you can distinguish some biological mechanism, or you can find some colocalization between two different proteins. And then you can also doing this kind of model. From the left stone imaging, you can model how histone protein are distributed in nucleus. So from computer modeling, you can model what kind of histone distribution will happen, and then you can correlate each other. Yeah, and then you can suggest this kind of mathematical calculation based on your imaging or modeling. So from at the last point, expected data or experiment data or predicted data, you can show them together, and then our computer model is quite fitting the real data. So this kind of concepts, so imaging and then prediction based on computer modeling has been published a lot in science paper. So when I visit the MBI, the Singapore Mechanobiology Institute conference, they are showing very dramatic uh, difference of the conventional microscope and imaging. Actually, these guys they visualize young and aged cardiac tissue, and then they compare collagen, fibronectin, or laminin, the three major ECM components in cardiac tissue, your heart, and then they compare conventional microscope versus stone. Low but high magnification, they are very dim in microscope, and then it's not easy to distinguish this young and aged cardiac tissue. But when you visualize by stone imaging machine, you can see a little difference. Actually, from collagen, this just micro scale, there are little deposit in aged one. For nanoscale is very high magnified image, like around 1 micrometer scale. You cannot see very much difference. But in fibronectin and laminin, you can see that. Conventional microscope, little enhanced in aged tissue. On nanoscale, less than 1 micrometer, little dim. But here, stop imaging, there are certain difference between young and aged. Here, fluorescence intensity microscale is higher in age 1, but when you look at this age 1 is less. Maybe this size of nanodomain is diameter is less than this young one. And then conventional microscope in lamine are the ECM component. No difference between young and aged one microscope conventional, but I'm not sure this really you can see the difference here. Also imaging, there's some difference. There are some higher density here. So when you look compare left and right, this microscope nano size and the storm imaging nano size, there's the resolution. This is the reason why you have to do some imaging for high for high genre. So there are many elastic machine, but the machine we are having at the moment is that ONI. ONI is like England-based company. And they insert this stone machine over 200 machine in worldwide. Yeah, so there are a lot of like Harvard, Penn, and GSK, Roche, and Merck. There are a lot of like big pharma and then good researcher company. And university they are using this ONI machine. Why? They're cheaper than other machine and that their size is very compact, like this notebook size. Yeah, they're very compact size. And then let's look at this. And then when you see single molecule, sorry, this one. So from the normal microscope, as you know, the resolution of the microscope is around 250 nanometer. Yeah, based on this limited microscope low, because they cannot distinguish these two dots less than 250 nanometer. They are show like this, very dim. But the storm imaging, how we can upgrade the resolution is based on this. Single molecular localization microscope resolution is less than 220 nanometer, is 10 times higher than the conventional microscope. They are individually this spot, this spot, this spot, this spot, this spot, they individually imaging and then later combine them together. So when you image like this, they can recognize this is a higher density, and then they only remember this spot. And then if you blink this, excite this area, sometime this is emission, and then you remember this. Some you can even though you are pointing this same spot, sometimes spot based on this random emission, but from the higher density of the emission, they remember this spot. When they combine all together, and then you can see higher resolution than conventional microscope. Actually, this skill was awarded by Nobel Prize, maybe back to 2010, something like that. And yeah, these very high resolution images. So, for example, this is like conventional microscope, like microscope, they are very dim about this area that they want to try to visualize receptor cluster here, membrane, very dim. But when you see by some image very clearly, you can see there are some individual receptor or this is receptor cluster, you see them like this cluster, right? So like that, and you can see cluster like this. So it's this storm imaging, they can visualize very detail of clustering of protein or some individual size of the protein in nucleus as well as cytoplasm. So the key feature for live actually this machine can do live imaging because they can the machine up to 42 degree and then single molecule detection and so for exosome tracking they can do, and then you can visualize two color at the same high frame rate. It's a good machine. And this is like how they are tracking So measure internalization and better understanding of MOI. The surface timing cell, this is that is like exosome. And then some exosome now is inside of cell inside, and then aggregation happening here. So you can live image with exosome technique. Stains used here are the same stains we use, or is it specific to these stones? Yeah, I'm gonna tell you later, but this is they just use certain fluorescence, let's say 6025 or 585, something like that. But you can stain them conventional way. But thing is that second antibody, the excitation and emission is a little different from conventional microscope. They are using like blue, red, far red. But from the far red, actually they are using a lot. But far red, they have specific uh, eva- some line that can be used for some imaging. So we already uh, bought some body for some imaging. I'm gonna later. Yeah. And yeah, simply is that just you can change the second antibody. That's all. And then also this machine that can also track this uh, some protein excrete, protein expel or protein uptake. So they can track this protein inside or inside. Here they transfect this cell using Claudin 2 GFP, which is one of the protein for making cell-to-cell junction. So they can track this kind of protein level. And then the tracking tools, you can use them one. So this is like automated workflow for EV quantification. So we already bought some EV kit, which can stain antibody CD63, CD81, CD9, depending on where the EV is coming from. They can 33% triple co-localization or double or single. We can also stain the EV. So I heard that this machine is quite popular for EV quantification or some uh, research work about EV. So now it's like overview of our machine. And then how could some imagings? First one is that you have to remember you have to use the very thin glass, 1.5 H, which is 170 micrometer glass. This is thinner than normal confocal glass. Our confocal glass, as far as I remember, 200 micrometer or 100 nanometer. They have the thickness confocal glass, but this is thinner than conventional confocal glass. So we already bought some special glass, slide glass, or actually this uh, micro slide egg well, and then we already bought because this has 170 micrometer, the thickness. So we have to culture the cell on this, and then you can stain, and then you can do imaging. But what happens if we use another glass like thicker than this, like 200 micrometer? This stock imaging, the working length is not that high, so you cannot visualize properly. So they highly recommend you use this one. So if you want to use this, like uh, this this left one is for this one, micro DC 35 millimeter. So if you want to convert cell on the gel, and then you have to use this one. Or if you want this this microslide 8 well, if you directly on glass, and then you have this 8 part, you can stain different antibody individually, or you can set it on your cell for this. But people recommend to use the entire 4 area. This edge is then easy to install and then visualize it. I'll show you later. Anyway, I'm doing this PPT for you, so you don't need to worry about this. And then if you find, and then how we can stain them. First, previously we have to prepare our slide. You see, you choose a cell, and then after culture for a certain hour, and then you choose something, and then now you fix and stain them. So for that, we bought this discovery kit. Discovery kit components like fixate, A, blocking, staining. So different thing is that storm buffer imaging can be a little different from other conventional staining. Other same thing. Fix, blocking, staining, wash, and then before imaging, you have to change the media using this imaging buffer. That's all. Imaging buffer is other thing is the same. And then, as you know, IBD this product is quite fitting for some imaging. So IBD 8 well, yeah, 18 well, 8 well, 6 channel. There shows some number for doing which kind of volume is it useful for this chamber. And then actually we have to buy this PFA fixation A only. So let's say fix maybe 3% PFA. If you need polymerization, most of the time you need polymerization for histone imaging or microtubule imaging, and then wash 3 times, cooking, stain, first antibody, second antibody, fix. So they have to fix again. This is a different one from normal staining. And then wash image buffer. But if your protein target protein is tricky, and then sometimes you have to use uh, PFA plus glutaraldehyde, 0.2% glutaraldehyde. You can add it more. So normally 4% PFA and 0.2% glutaraldehyde. People mention, company mention, first you have to try PFA, and then your PFA only is a little dim to visualize certain protein, and then you try this 0.2% glutaraldehyde further. It's like strong fixative, more fixed protein. This is how you do the fixed and polymerization. Protein like histone, H2B, that one is fixed. PFA, normal PFA, and polymerization, yes. If you want to check some tubule or some membrane protein and the fixed plus polymerization, yeah. But people suggest first try fix A and then try fix B. Actually, depending on cell line or you can choose A and B. But they recommend fix A and polymerization first, like this. Histone. Staining is first antibody. You have to use just recommended concentration from company. You can use normal first antibody like actin, something like that. But for here we have here two A647. This is anti-rabbit, anti-mouse 5A3. So you can use rabbit first antibody and then mouse first antibody for double staining. Right. Actually, I ordered another goat or a rabbit for another laser. The, they will not come yet, but I'm gonna. So and then anyhow, we are ready for staining almost everything. But the double staining is the only way we can do. But this rabbit, little far red, and mouse, little red color. And we can also stain DAPI or host to stain the nucleus, but that is not for stone. They're just for recognizing your nucleus. Also, you can detect the nucleus shape or morphology by the stone imaging. So let's say this A667 here and 5A3 is here. A little colocalized, there are little overlap between here, but most of the time they're excited, so we can stain them. So before you begin, okay, there are several steps. So normally they need some uh, supplement like glutaraldehyde. So according to recipe, you can mix together. So if you sometimes need quenching solution, quenching solution, I'm gonna show you what is the composition of the quenching solution. So you can add the solution for let's say B part, and then Permeabilization, also you can prepare permeabilization solution based on this local. And then fixed and quenching time in training. So fix B or A, you can, and the thing is from fix and B to 37 degree heating lock, and then you are using this for fix. Normally you can fix by 4 degree PFS like that. You have to heat up to 37 degree. And for quenching, you need 0.1% sodium borohydride. Yeah, we have this solution in our stock, so you can and then you can use this one. So remove this media and pre-warm A or B. You put it 10 minutes later for big quenching. Wash 3 times. Also this quenching and the wash it, and then staining total 3 or 4 hours. Washing buffer, blocking, incubate them, stain first antibody, and then limit blocking solution an hour. Washing. Second body recommended 1 to 100 dilution. Washing. The staining solution. Another fixate. This is called post fixation. After staining, they fix again. And then 1 day to 37 degree for 10 degree 10 minutes. And the wash, something like that. So post fixation 10 to 15 minutes. 10 minutes from the light. Apply washing buffer. And then sometimes you can pause depending on this your time point. And then micro setup. Micro setup is like similar to confocal, but very simple then. Turn on nano imager. The thing is that you have to turn on the machine 1 hour before to increase temperature up to 32 degree. This is the only thing different. You can do. The thing is that this is very large. The thing is that part A 99 microreader, part B 1 microreader, combine them, they're making 1 microreader imaging buffer. So this imaging buffer they can use 1 or 2 hours, and then this part B should be incubated in -20 degree all the time. They cannot be go outside of the fridge, -20 degree. But part A, they can be put in ice box. So part B is very important. And then if you mix, even though you're pipetting, you cannot make the bubble because this part A and B imaging buffer, they are very uh, vulnerable to bubble or oxygen. So they are oxidated and they cannot make stone imaging properly. So if you read this carefully, you can see pipetting is okay, but vortexing is not okay. And then just making bubble is not okay. And then imaging. Okay, and then now stone imaging for if you run the machine and then you use your login ID password, yeah, there IDEN password there, and then we need bit calibration first, and then sample on the stage. Properly for 8 well, a microsite, we need 3 to 400 micrometer imaging buffer. Yeah, this is like an recommendation. Focusing and jet lock, making G axis solid, and the illumination 50 degree, temperature rate 50, but it's depending on your, well, I suggest 50 first, and then a little bit. And based on the focusing, you can change it. Focus from high wavelengths, because high wavelengths, they quite well retain the storm imaging. But if you first use like 415 nanometer first, then they are easily remove their fluorescence, blinking. So from the higher wavelengths, you have to focus the images. And then when you focus something higher nanometer, and you can go down 500 something and then 400. We can excite the sample like 480, 552, 640 nanometer. And then their resolution is x to y axis around 20 micron, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. y-axis, they're changing. X-Y axis, their uh, size is 20 micrometer. Z-axis 5 micrometer. Up to this micrometer, this is working length. That's why we have to use 150 micrometer slide glass. Image exposure recommended 30 minutes already set up at default. 10,000 images you need. And then if the blinking is decreasing, you have to increase the intensity, get more blinking. So that's 100 counts per second. Winter turned the machine way much more before, 1 hour before. Yeah, 30-degree stage and 10-degree camera. And then this overview, okay. It's like complicated, but that's one by images. This is machine, very simple. This is ONI for putting your sample here. This notebook on the right side, there's like tablet. And then this is that you can see this is like little temperature, 32 degree. So 1 hour, and then they're going up. It'll take 1 hour. Stage temperature, and then checking laser on. This laser blue, I mean, dark color blue 500, 600. So when you click it, and then you can visualize their images. So people ask me after by storm die, and then you can visualize by confocal. Yes. So I after your sample, you first check by confocal. They are staying proper or not. But you can use those not oil immersion things. Just you can use water immersion solution for imaging. And then after visualize by confocal capture, and then you wash it, and then you can put stock imaging buffer later. And then, oh, this is the image I can get from confocal. This is the image I can get from stock imaging. But sometimes stock imaging you cannot see anything, but you are not sure about your sample is properly stained or not. That's why you have to see your sample first by confocal, and then try to start stock images. After Effects is fine. Right. So cannot see by eye, only see images. So maybe confocal machine, sometimes you can see by your eyes, right? But this machine, only you can see the screen. And then this is like this holder, and you can see when this is going inside, you cannot see. So, and then do like this, pull out, you can open it. I'm going to show you later. So this pull out is important to imaging. If this bar is put on, this is you can easily open and close it. And you can see this red color is coming outside of this box because start laser, sort of like that. And then this is the how you can install your slide glass. Yeah, laser going from bottom up, and then this is like magnet because you have to fix on the stage. This is your slide glass and the cover glass. Hold, and then you close this box, make it dark, and then you can start the images. So slide setup with magnet here. So the thing is that we try many times with hydrogel, but hydrogel, even though hydrogel we fix it, they a little shift, even 1 nanometer. And then there, while we are taking image like maybe 2 or 5 minutes for getting 10,000 picture, the image is little shift. So that's why with Haluka, we extract the cell from hydrogel and then using the way how people are fixed the suspend cell on the side glass, and then we are put the cell, we are get the cell from the hydrogel and then put the cell on this glass, the image. So you have to find the thing is that even very little changing of the direction, they cannot make proper some imaging. They need this powerful magnet to fix your sample on the stage. The laser focus G start from 20%. And then if you click control scroller, and then you can change the G axis very fast. Art slow. This is how you change the speed of the G score and Z axis for making focus. And then in 3D, you can start from 20%. And then when they're blinking, you can increase simultaneously. I'm gonna show you. Laser focus G axis manual, set focus reference. And then G axis wrong means that sometimes their G axis is changing. After rocking, you can start and then change the illumination angle. And 55 degree to make clear images of the speed. Actually, this data is from like speed calibration. Before you are real imaging, this is speed. So like you need calibration first. For calibration, you try to set up how z-axis change, and then illumination angle change, and intensity change, and then you get channel mapping calibration, and then this setup, click it. When calibration is good, as the error is less than 2 nanometer, this is good line, and then you have updated once, and then okay, and the calibration is done. So to calibration under 2 nanometer, show 90% good, same mapping, and ready for imaging. Your imaging sample installation on the same box, laser intensity, XYG, axis focus, autofocus, auto G focus, and G rock scan. First, this we cannot. This machine has only one magnification, 63x, very high. So you cannot see overall. That's why you have to do overview scan first. From overview scan, you click one side, and then you can scan edit scan. It will take just 1 minute. And click one side. Scan one color individually, intensity over time with 100 blinks. Focus from high wavelengths. That is any possible 550 nanometer DAPI fine makes a lot of bleaching. So this is how you do the imaging. So I'm going to show you the real picture. You see that they are blinking? They're blinking. Well, this one blinking is one images. So they actually show you again. They are certain. So you can see how many pictures they are taking. Maybe for 10,000 images, it will take 5 minutes, something like that. But it's blinking is less. And then here, you can increase intensity, maybe from the 20, 30, 50, and then at the last minute 100. And then they can blinking better and better. And then later, and the optical image also you can as a background images. And then if you go another setup here, another setup, and then this actually if you see one images only show this dot, maybe two dot. Another image they can show this dot. But if you combine all 10,000 images together using this software, you can show like that. So from here, you can see beautifully how this histone protein is localized in the DAPI area. Like, sorry, this is actually actin. Actin is localized here, and then nucleus actin also you can detect here. So if you believe your image is not enough, you can increase up to 330K. It's up to you. And then you can do image merging, maybe take red color and then green color, and merge them together. Using this software, you can merge them together. You can do this as well, but I didn't do by myself. And then extreme shift. In case of extreme, they can shift sometime. because exoderm is live imaging. So also you can correct the shifting using this machine. And then at the last time, you have to clean the microscope by the alcohol plus special tissue. Yeah. Tissue is located in the same space for some imaging. And actually, I forgot to say one thing is that for imaging, you have to put some oil. Oil. So put the oil on the top of the laser lens, and there the laser lens, you put the glass on the top, the and then close the chamber. After finish, you just wash that oil using alcohol tissue. As you know, when the oil is like stuck in the machine is little dirty and then it's not good to have it. So this is the overview of the stomach imaging. So maybe now I'm quite to educate someone. So if you are interested about stomach imaging, just find me and then one by one, maybe let's say if you're staying tubulin or some other sun-1 protein, and then let's see which kind of antibody we can get. We already have a lot of second antibody, and then so okay, this can be matched, and then we can do some imaging together. Maybe if you already are familiar with the confocal machine, some imaging is not a big deal. But the thing is that the after getting the data, you cannot get the maybe if you use another special program, you can manipulate the images. But here, after getting data, like 10K or 20K images, they automatically show like this. And then here, you can export this image as TIFF file. TIFF file is not that big, like 2 or 3 megabytes. So, but the original file is like 10 gigabytes, something like that. And then sometimes if you have some, get some other device, and you can upload uh, this special uh, chip images into Kodi, certain public website for this ONI company, and then you can get some advice. And then what kind of person researcher they are using special intensity or special illumination angle for visualizing special protein, and you can get some idea how you can get better images. So the benefit of this storm imaging by company is that you don't need to upload this like um, tens of gigabytes for getting some advice. You can only tens of megabytes, and then this automatically they have auto calculation, and then the other people also they can analyze your images to give you some advice. Okay, any question? Mm-hmm. You showed the video. Mm-hmm. Is it taking two pictures of two different stains simultaneously or just one by one? Yeah, it's a good question. Actually, at the moment, we are staying two, say, green and red, and then we visualize together. Yeah. So you know what? Sometime after staining two type, maybe 500, sorry, 580 something, 620. As I told you, these overlap each other. Overlap each other. If you excited this 647, this 587 die is also excited. So that's why even though you can get the this right side maybe this is our major focus. But sometimes while you are excited, green color is obtained. People are asking, this is a real images? This is real images. But at the moment we are only using this red. Mm. But and then how you can get two images at the same time? So if you want to do that, 10K images first for red, and then at the sequentially you can set up 10K from the green. Also, when you set green and then they set it the red, and even though you are doing 10K, 10K, you can get maybe 13K, 13K, something like that when you combine them together. So this is how you can get more images. Mm. So when you do some co-localization of the protein, to turn on these two, but when you excite this one, here other, this is more bright, which means the turning on the red, and then only excited this, but from this also they are excited. Okay. Thank you. Mhm.